What's up, Morgrot Universe? Man, today you are in such luck because I decided to give you not one but two, a double dose of Tracks of the Damned today. And with us today is the illustrious, the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend, known as Johnny Necro in the house. We're going to be talking about some punk rock today. What? Right. Something I bet you y'all never thought would ever happen on Tracks of the Damned. But don't worry, because if you want your black metal fix, tonight at 8 p.m., me and Brother Hoofbeast has come back from the dead, finally to rejoin us for the black metal edition of the 90s. So don't miss that tonight at 8 p.m. But how you doing, Johnny?
What's up? You got chocolate in my peanut butter. You got punk rock in my metal. What's up, Reaper Creepers and Necrophiles? How y'all doing out there?
Pretty good. Aaron is with us. Hey. And so is Lizzie. Hey, hey, hey. So just to let you guys know, Johnny and I were talking probably I'd say about a month ago, we started talking about doing this because this is a genre that, doesn't really get covered in metal. So it has to be like its own thing because punk rock itself is a very special genre of rock and kind of what really saved a lot of us from some of the really, really bad corporate rock coming out of the 70s and into the 80s. So we're like, well, we could make this kind of a series because, as you know, just like metal, there are subgenres in punk rock.
Tons.
Right. So I figured nobody better to have with me than the man that was in the fucking trenches of this thing.
You flatter me, sir.
It's true, though.
I was a gutter punk, man. I fucking did all that shit.
Yeah, fucking yeah, man. Abso-fucking-lutely. So we're going to give you basically today. What are we giving them today, brother?
We said we're going to do each of us, we're going to pick 5 of our biggest punk influence. It doesn't mean it's our favorite fucking punk band. It means it's our biggest fucking punk influence. There's a big fucking difference.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean we want to be them.
No, we don't want to be them at all. This is just kind of our picks of those punk bands that really kind of led the charge or, was kind of at the top of the crop.
At least one of their albums did something that changed our life over the course of our fucking long ass back in old school existence. We remember back when the metalheads and the punk rockers beat the fucking shit out of each other until they discovered, Motorhead crosses the boundary. Lemmy is the savior between fucking punk and metal.
Yes. And then you had certain punk bands that really kind of went some different directions. Some went real political. Some were very much on like the whole, teenage angst, kind of thing where I'm just pissed off at everything.
Right.
And then those that kind of transcended and brought horror elements into things. So, hey, what's going on there, Rebecca and Cody? Nice to have you with us. As always, you guys know what to do. Share this out anywhere and everywhere that there is a music lover, because I mean, let's face it, we all listen to a lot of different things. And that's what I want to kind of start doing a little bit. No, I'm not going to have a jazz show. That's not going to happen, even though I do like me some jazz. But in this particular genre, this is definitely something we can all get down to.
There are jazzy punk bands, though.
There are. We just won't talk about them.
Yeah.
All right, brother, go ahead and kick us off with your first pick.
So I'm going to go with this one is actually my favorite band of all time. So I'm going to go with Social Distortion, because Mike Ness started out in the 70s. He got in and out of the drug scene really young, survived. He lost a lot of members to it along the way. He got his act together, and you can hear a genuine progression through the years of Social Distortion. And just like Stray Cats and a few of the others, he was instrumental in the rockabilly scene. And he broke barriers. And the man is still going, even though he's fighting throat cancer today.
Oh, so, fuck.
Yeah, he's still going.
You know, why is it that just keeps happening to singers specifically? And secondly, hardcore scene, the old New York hardcore scene. Right. There's a very, very big legend there that's fighting that, has been fighting that, and is losing the battle, unfortunately.
Cancer so now don't discriminate. You know, my mom has it behind her eye after remission 9 years from her breast cancer. Joey Ramone died of cancer. My friend from Troma, she's recovering from pancreatic cancer the best you can. You know, it's fucking bad. So fuck cancer. Punk rock is what we're here to talk about.
Believe me.
Start the punk up, fucking cancer. Stay in your lane.
But yeah, man, Mike Ness was definitely somebody that brought us a very distinct voice. Yes. You can always tell when it's him. He's had great fucking musicians playing with him. And honestly, I really kind of liked the punkabilly stuff a bit more like that. Yeah. You know, Ball and Chain is like still one of my favorites of theirs.
His cover, Ring of Fire.
That was really good too.
Prison Bound is like my favorite fucking song he's ever done. If you haven't heard Prison Bound, look it up, people, because it just has that feel, and you'd be like, holy fuck, dude. You would think that he was there. And if you go back through his history, again, he started off in the Orange County scene when punk was at ground zero. So he fucking been around.
Whew. You ain't kidding. Let's see here. Cody says, I don't know as you guys think they're punk, but I feel they have a punk influence early in their career, and that's AFI.
AFI is incredible. And yes, they did start out punk. They started out with an EP doing covers of Misfits and shit. And he grew. I have nothing but respect for that band. I mean, that era we got to do a whole episode on, because that's when like Tiger Army and a bunch of the other were coming out again. And Cody, punk rock, it doesn't matter. You like what you like. I could listen to Britney Spears, which I do, and I'm still punk as fuck, because I don't give a fuck what other people think. So, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to dog on the Blink-182 and all the other shit, because we're old. It's the new generation version. The times have changed, and it has changed with it. It's just like metal, you know what I mean? It's had different names. So
very much so, because I mean, I know we're probably going to be talking about them in a minute, but you know, originally the only real punk rock to hit the scene in a major way was the Ramones, and they're like the happy, Rockaway Beach band.
Right. Well, they did a lot of 60s covers. I mean, they were really.
They sure did.
And even when they sang about fucking sucking dick for drugs, it was a fucking happy song.
Exactly. They were just too happy. I mean, and that was okay, though. I enjoyed it, but
they did give us Pet Sematary.
Oh, well. I mean, that was definitely a killer song. And that gets played on every, like, horror list around spooky time. So, of course.
Before we get to the list, I want to shout out to my buddies in Pittsburgh, a newer punk band, the Karens, who Dr. Chud, the former Misfits drummer, has been doing a lot of shit with, helping out. But they on their own are fucking cool. You check them out. They're awesome.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. I'm sure you could probably get to them on Bandcamp and all that.
They got a new video. My husband got fucked by a werewolf on YouTube.
I mean, who doesn't?
Great.
Who doesn't want to hear that? I mean, shit. That takes me back to what fucking Wolf Cop. I mean, that shit was fantastic, right?
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. What's going on, Jesse and Jody out there? Jody 138. Of course, the Misfits. Don't think for 1 second we ain't going to talk about them.
I think they're on my list, but
possibly, maybe. One of the bands first on my list, not in any particular order, mind you guys. We're not doing any rankings here, but I want to get through the ones that I have on photo so I can actually show you. When I discovered the Sex Pistols super early on, I know this is like a big fucking argument. Did they suck? Were they ass? I mean, think about a lot of these underground tapes. A lot of them were not on labels and they had to try to get this shit done on a 4-track. So, I thought that kind of added to the romance of it. Like that was the flavor. It was loud. It was not, very well produced. But at the end of the day, you could jam to it. And I mean, let's fucking face it, man. Johnny fucking Rotten.
Fuck, even on PIL. John Lydon, when he went to PIL, he's still fucking awesome.
Definitely. I mean, his English accent coming out in the fucking rage-filled, lyrics of his. This was not a walk in the park for somebody's grandma. You know what I mean? This was the band that they're like, we don't want you listening to these people.
And they do have some polished shit. You gotta look it up. Like that song Silly Thing Paul Cook fucking sings. It's fucking great. I love that song.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, apparently we got everybody out there with the Wolf Cop name drop there. Although we scarred a few people with that movie too, though. And that's okay. But I always have to mention them. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate about Sid Vicious and all that shit. Not to mention the guy never fucking played. But it was about.
He did sing a couple cool tracks. I mean, they were covers, but I enjoy Sid sings and the Great Rock and Roll Swindle.
Right.
So I covered a version of his version of My Way on my Killing Innocence album in '96. Recorded it live in a karaoke bar.
Nice.
How punk is that? I didn't even play it either. I just sang it and recorded that shit illegally.
Well, back in those times, we could get away with that. If anybody had one of those little portable, cassette players, you get a blank tape and press down both buttons. You're good to go. Oh, shit. Cody says Wolfcock is more like it. Like I said, we scarred some folks.
Again, someone's husband got fucked by a werewolf. Now, does Wolfman have a fucking human dick or one of those weird dog dicks? They got that little fucking curvy tip.
It was a combo. The part that he's referring to is when he's going through the change for the first time. He goes to take a whiz, so he's starting to shed his skin, right? And the fur's coming out. Well, he also had to shed the cannoli as well, and it looked like it was a blown up big old worm. Shit was hilarious. If you haven't seen it. Jesse says, we didn't have the luxury of every song on the planet at our fingertips in the 80s. Totally true. It took a lot of work to get good music. Oh, man, the art of the mixtape will always be one of my cherished memories.
Everybody pat yourselves on the fucking back because we had to discover the most obscure music on the planet without the fucking radio helping. Or without YouTube or without fucking all these streaming services. We had word of mouth, and a lot of people, I don't know about your group, a lot of people in my groups were tight-lipped. They did not want other people knowing what they liked. And this, back in the 90s, when Nine Inch Nails was taking off with the industrial scene, all of us that were listening to Throbbing Gristle and Psychic TV and Skinny Puppy and shit, we knew of him when he was doing shit with Pigface. So it was like, you know, all of a sudden we're like, fuck, we didn't want to share our music to other people.
No, it was very, very, very much a passionate thing. That's how it was in my group growing up. You know, one of us always was able to get like you said, the most obscure stuff that most people didn't know about because nobody was pushing it. I mean, shit, that's how we found Two Live Crew. Our one buddy who was just allowed to buy whatever he wanted to suddenly brought it into the group. And it was like, oh shit, Two Live Crew. These guys are fucking hilarious. Next thing you know, everybody knew who they were.
Right.
It was like, damn it, I thought it was special.
Now, Beavis and Butthead, I'm going to give credit to that show because that's how I discovered bands like L7 and a bunch of the other newer ones. And there'd be no fucking Rob Zombie, White Zombie without that. He credits Beavis and Butthead for his success. So,
shit, Danzig too, man.
Right. Good on them for that. That was the best thing MTV did before it shit the fucking bed and went fucking all fucking goddamn stupid, fake, ill reality shows.
Right. Aaron says, look at the influence punk had on zombie culture by Return of the Living Dead. Yes.
Changed my life. We talked about that in my first interview with you. It got me into fucking punk and horror. I was like, I'm done. I'm there. I'd already watched horror before, but that soundtrack is what changed my fucking course.
Yeah. All right. What you got for number 2?
A band that's on the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. We're going to go with the Cramps because anybody who's heard my song, The Amityville Stomp, you can tell I'm heavily influenced by the fucking Cramps as well. Another rockabilly punk band. They're
so fucking good.
And they were hilarious too.
Like, Queen of Pain is like my favorite song by them. It's so wrong in so many ways, and nobody does it better.
They were groundbreaking. I mean,
they really
were. From Lux Interior and cross-dressing and shit. Like, Bend Over, I'll Drive. Come on, that fucking says it all right there. That was awesome.
Absolutely, which is why, you know, kind of the subculture, if you will, really got big on them. I really think that, you know, like the Jenna Torturers, I think they you know, they appeal to that crowd a lot because they're talking about like a lot of S&M and shit and weird, you know, other things.
With them and bands like Christian Death were big in starting the goth punk, not horror punk, but goth punk fucking side of things too.
Yes, I don't think most people know that there definitely is a difference between the two.
Yes.
Because, you know, guys like the Misfits, Glenn Danzig actually wanted to hurt you. The goth punk guys were just like, oh, look at me, I'm so goth.
I crossed barriers, but I was kind of aggro, so it worked. Because I was also part Rivet Head. So I was like all of it together. I'm just me. I'm Johnny fucking Necro.
Right. And that's why we love you.
Well, I love you too.
Oh, I'm very unapologetically Reaper. That's for damn sure.
Fuck yeah.
I always will be. Oh yeah. I kind of agree with this as well.
I love Bauhaus as well.
Jody says Bauhaus were good goth punk. I don't think a lot of people looked at it. They just call it goth. Well, listen to the rhythm. Listen to how the songs are put together. Hell fucking yeah.
And Love and Rockets, which was Daniel Ash from Bauhaus.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Jesse says the Cramps were so good. Crystal says Cramps are a huge part of her life. And I know exactly where we're going with that. And I feel sorry at the same time. But also, not because of the band, though.
Night Owls that actually showed up for an afternoon show for us.
You know, like I said, I interviewed Anoxide from the UK yesterday, and I couldn't believe it how many people showed up that early because, you know, big time difference between the UK and the States. So you guys have been just kicking ass. So we're just going to keep giving you treats.
What's your next choice there, buddy?
My next choice is probably one, and I know that no one's even mentioned it yet. But I know this is probably like punk, you know, bad juju or whatever, or faux pas. That's what I was looking for. I actually discovered this punk band before the Misfits, before I even knew who the Misfits were. And it was because when I saw this front cover of these three fine gents and their wonderful devil locks drenched in fucking pig's blood was the darkest version of punk I had ever heard. I mean, it was satanic goodness. Known as Sam Hain. This was Glenn Danzig's second band after he had left the Misfits. So fucking dark, dude, and so much. I hate to say it. I mean, this is blasphemous, but it was better to me in a lot of ways. It still had that punk aggression, but you could tell that musically, stylistically, he was moving forward. Lots of like tribal beats and chanting and, all kinds of really cool make your skin crawl lyrics. I mean, he did an entire song in Latin. And to this day, I just think that was ingenious because everyone was like, whoa, he's opening a portal.
And for the people that don't know, okay, speaking of that cross genre,
yep.
Sam Hain and Danzig were the same fucking lineup for the first couple albums. Yep. All they did was change the name because Rick Rubin said, why don't you call yourself Danzig? Nobody knows what the fuck Sam Hain is. They know Danzig from the Misfits. Change your name. And that's why he did it. That's why it became Danzig, because it was still Eerie Vaughn and John Christ. Yep. It was the same fucking lineup.
I'll give you another side tip. There was somebody who tried out to be the lead guitarist for Sam Hain, and he actually got the job until it was time to do the first gig, and that was one of the Ramones guitar players. It wasn't. No. It was Johnny. It was Johnny Ramone, nice. Who came to try out for guitar. He was all about it. The Ramones were no more or whatever. And he's like, yeah, let's fucking do this. And then they get to the show, and it was like, sorry.
Oh. Yeah, he didn't play that shit anymore because that's why the Misfits broke up, was over the fucking drummer they hired for fucking that Detroit show that ended up being their last fucking original lineup show back in the day. So, yeah, he didn't fuck around with that shit.
Well, fucking hell. I mean, with Robo, like, not being able to come into the country and all this other problems they've had, I mean, it just makes sense. But, guys, if you haven't gotten down to Sam Hain, I know it's kind of hard to find, but you can still get it on CD.
You can get the box set once in a while.
You can get the box set, too. Yep. eBay's
or if you have friends that have it.
Right?
I have the box set.
Oh, me too. I ain't never getting rid of that motherfucker.
No.
Never! Because, as you know, Danzig likes to pull off the things that he just doesn't want to be on Spotify. You can't get it at all.
So one of my favorite songs he ever did was Less Than Zero, the fucking song from the soundtrack. You can't fucking get that unless you find the soundtrack.
That's right. November Come Fire is my absolute favorite record by them. It was full of so much energy, darkness, very well put together guitar parts. Vocals were fan-fucking-tastic. You could hear them better. And the drums were like thunderous. I really loved that about it.
I mean, Marvel Comics.
Yep, right. And he like did the song Halloween 2 is what he called it, which was to me the way the original Halloween song should have been written and played because it's just so fucking good. He's talking about like lycanthropy and all that stuff. Yeah. And then I'm trying to see. He who should not be named is one of my favorite jams as well. So,
and since we're on that path, I'm just going to say Misfits and get it out of the fucking way.
Might as well.
It's a progression from fucking Misfits, Sam Hain, Danzig. So you gotta have it out there.
Of course, there's Glenn there.
But a little fucking tip from a horror rocker to all the other horror rockers. You don't got to try to be the fucking Misfits to do horror rock.
No, you don't.
It's a big fucking world. You can sound different. You don't have to have the Devil's Lock or 2 in my case. Yeah, I had the 2. But
I just kind of always thought it was a cool thing for them to do, but they never whited out their faces.
Right.
I was thinking to myself, you guys literally could look like the undead with all that hair in your face and still make yourself look very skullish.
Another unintentional Misfits reference, the undead Bobby Steele.
Right?
So you'd have a whole fucking episode on the Misfits and the fucking family tree.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, Jody, most def. He says, Mother of Mercy. Oh, that's
so good.
We all need our time in hell. You know it.
And don't get me wrong. I love Sam Hain, and I agree with you. I think it's a lot more powerful. But if you listen to songs like In the Doorway and American Nightmare and shit, you could see the progression of the band. It was definitely, they were moving. And I know you're not as big of a fan as I am. I still think when they came back with Graves, musician-wise, it was stronger than ever.
Oh.
When Dr. Chud's playing and Doyle fucking hammer fucking playing, because the dude admits he can't play many chords. It worked.
It does.
But everything worked out in the end because look at all the bands we got. So
right. Jesse says, I'm a little more into old punk than metal. I couldn't miss the show when I saw you were talking punk. Oh, that's awesome, brother. I totally appreciate that. He goes on to say, I was a fan of the Undead when Bobby Steele left. See, he knows his stuff. Yes. Jody says, Lyle Pressler of Minor Threat played the first Sam Hain show and on a few songs on Initium. That is totally true. That whole scene, man, during that time, they all those bands kind of traveled together. Yeah,
it was all unity.
Yeah, the Circle Jerks, all those guys, Dead Milkmen too. Right. They were all kind of just this one big dysfunctional family, and he always had great guys that he could call upon.
I have a trivia question for you to see if you know this or not.
Ooh, I'll try.
Well, it's not really a question; it's a statement.
No.
Did you know that Jerry Only and a few of the others threw Sid's ashes on Nancy's grave?
No.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Wow.
There's your unity in the scene from this fucking era.
Woo! That's insane. Oh, Jody goes on to say, I saw the Misfits for the first time this year at Sonic Temple in Ohio. It was a dream come true. If I could have, I'm sorry, as much as I love them, I can't pay $150 a ticket. I just can't do it. Even though I've seen the videos, everything looks amazeballs. This is what they should have had back in the 80s when everything was cheaper.
He wouldn't do it back then. It was all about
attitude.
You remember he almost beat up Ricky Rackman for fucking
he did.
He goes, when I was in Misfits, I was in Misfits. When I was in Sam Hain, I was in Sam Hain. I'm here to talk about this new record. And if you don't like it, you can shut the fuck up.
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
No. And again, he had to get tired of hearing all the questions. When I first started talking to Dr. Chud, like after a year of talking online and doing shit with the comic, I told him on the phone, I go, look, I'm never going to ask you what happened when you left. It's not my business. I don't care. I'm friends with you now. You've always been good to me. I don't need the bullshit. And he rambled on about a couple of the rumors that I had heard. And that's it gets back to people. So watch your mouth, people. You don't know what fucking happens. I had a bad breakup with Asylum, so I get their point. Leave them the fuck alone. Say hi, get your shit signed, and fucking move on.
Oh, I had to school a few people about my departure from one of the bands I played in back then. It was like, oh, I never said that. You didn't? You sure? Because 15 other people said you did. And it's like, I didn't say nothing. You want a drink? You know what I mean? It's so true, especially in our world of music. Shit gets around.
You gotta realize band breakups are like a fucking marriage ending.
It is.
So you just keep your mouth shut and say, I like your shit, and move on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why, Doyle can't stand to this day. You ask him a fucking stupid question in an interview, he's like, interview's done. Or he just might punch you. I mean, he's like the Incredible Hulk, that fucking guy.
Right. Again, another Misfits offshoot that started off as Abominator and then Lady.
Oh, holy fuck. I love Doyle's band.
Yeah.
I got to open up for them. That's how I met Chud for the first time. That's obviously how I met Doyle. And of course, the vocalist that's got the Wolfman chops
from
of a
Canada.
lifetime. I love him.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, and it's great fucking music.
Yes.
Great fucking music. Jesse says, I loved how the artwork that Danzig used. I was learning to hallucinate back then, and the darkness of it was crazy.
He was also a big fan of Giger. If you look at a few of the fucking covers,
Oh, yeah.
he got him to
Danzig
do
3. How the Gods Kill. That's a straight fucking Geiger
Right.
artwork piece there. He says Jesse's actually originally from Pennsylvania. Hey, the Dead Milkman was the first band that I ever owned. One of their records definitely brings me memories. Hell yeah.
And we'll be talking about them
in
one of our future episodes too.
Yes.
Because I have a whole list for you of like the humors. I broke them down, dude. Like I got
yes, you did
lists and women and this.
Oh, I mean, I can't wait to talk about the women. We're gonna do like a whole fucking, you know, we could do a whole show on the women of punk because there were some ladies out there that I just thought were electrifying as performers.
And even if they're just the front woman and they have men in the band like Blondie or the Distillers, I mean, it's still fucking, it's there.
Oh, Wendy O, you know?
Yeah, fuck that, man.
Shit. This next band, I mean, you can't not talk about them. And of course, they have. It looks like I don't have their poster. That sucks. That's okay. But I mean, you've heard their big song in. Oh, what the fuck was that? The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson. These fucking guys are the I call them the swinging Irish like ass stompers is what I call them. I mean, we can't talk about punk and not talk about the Dropkick motherfucking Murphys.
Right. They are a fucking fantastic band.
If you haven't got a chance to see them out there, anybody in the Morgright universe, motherfuckers, check them out. It is a sight to behold.
I saw them with Flogging Molly, so that was even better. I mean,
oh my damn.
Perfect, Barry.
I mean, just classic after classic and how they've kind of woven in their more folk style kind of punk. I think it's one of the greatest creations ever. It's, hey, let's fucking drink and kick people's asses.
And they have a very diverse fan base. Everything from working class, not Nazi, but working class skinheads, the fucking goddamn regular people like fucking Dropkick Murphys because they're beautiful. Their Christmas songs hilarious. You cannot like Dropkick Murphys, man. That's the most honest holiday song ever fucking said.
Oh yeah, big time. And they never gave a fuck.
No,
they didn't give two shits. You don't like it, fuck you. I'll fight you. You know, just very upbeat, very hard hitting, full of awesome rage. But they were like fucking shanties.
And they have sad songs too, man. When they talk about their dead friends and shit.
Yeah.
Or listen to the lyrics of Rose Tattoo. And tell me one of us hasn't gotten a drunk tattoo.
I mean, this was one of those bands that literally everyone across the board could like relate to.
So props to them, like Social D.
Yeah.
They are on a different level. I love punk, but a lot of it's fucking shit, even though I like it. I'm gonna be fucking honest. It just has its little things that you grab, whether it is the sound or whether it is the statement or the humor or whatever. They're on a different fucking level, just like my next choice in our fucking list. Bad Religion.
Oh yeah, I actually have them. Oh, look at me go! Look at me go! They look a little older, but it's them.
You don't have to dress punk to be punk. They are intelligent. He was a professor at Berkeley.
Yup.
They are fucking beyond amazing.
Absolutely.
The day after my first show ever, I got to see them live. So after the birth of Killing Innocents in Austin, Texas, I had free tickets to go see them the very next day.
Oh, bad fucking ass, man. Yep, Jesse, I absolutely agree with you. Celtic punk is the shit. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is their category.
Yes. Listen to the Rumjacks, because they're along that line too.
Yeah, now, and believe it or not, out there in the Morgrot universe, there is Norse punk bands too. And I happen to be friends with one. He's called like Björn and the Berserkers. They are a folk punk band. So you're getting like, your traditional Odin, Thor, and all the like the saga type stuff. It's fucking crazy. So, like I said, we'll be doing shows in the future on like all the different subgenres.
We'll have a foreign episode.
Exactly. So yeah, fucking Bad Religion, man. I can remember. I actually kind of, when I was a kid, because I just, everybody is different when you're a kid. If you're just so into one thing at that particular time, it's like, this doesn't really stand up to that. But years later, I went back and kind of rehashed some of the old Bad Religion stuff. And I was like, yeah, this shit, it was actually pretty damn good. I just couldn't get out of my headspace because I was all about the darkness.
You go back and listen to shit off of Recipe for Hate with like American Jesus and shit.
Yep.
Fucking kerosene. Or skip forward when they had the fucking riots and they put out Los Angeles is Burning. That's one of my favorite songs I listen to monthly.
Oh, yeah.
And their newest album is fucking incredible. If anybody hasn't fucking heard it, they still have it. It is fucking insane.
Oh, fuck yeah. Nice. Well, I mean, that pretty much is, to me, like the perfect segue into my next choice. I mean, this band brought us one of the most prolific frontmen in punk's history, because he's gone on to do some of the most amazing things, including a band that took his namesake. He's extremely fucking intelligent. He's built like a brick shit house to this fucking day. One of Glenn Danzig's best friends. And he also does the spoken word tours. And let me tell you, he packs everywhere he goes. And he's not even fucking singing anymore.
And he's an actor.
Matter of fact, he got a couple of fucking horror films under his belt as well. I bet you some of y'all didn't know that, but let's talk about it. Fucking Black Flag. The most politically charged fuel. I want to destroy the man. Everyone's always talking about get back at the man. Don't be a slave to the man. This was the band for you. Henry was, and at that time, he was not huge, but I mean, he was put together. But damn it, this little skinny dude. Oh my goodness. When he fucking sang, and he didn't wear shoes. That's the thing that always killed me. Man never wore shoes. Shit, he didn't wear a shirt most of the time. It's just like cut off jean shorts. And he was just a fucking monster. Oh my goodness.
That's my old drinking buddy as well. Same band, because they had multiple. Des Condina, who came before Rollins. Right. Me and him used to do shots of Jaeger whenever we played shows together in fucking Cleveland.
Oh, that's badass.
He told me Rollins' story. It wasn't as pleasant as our conversation.
Oh, well.
But when the torch is passed, there are sometimes animosity.
I mean, that's how that shit goes. I mean, look at the whole Cliff Burton, Jason Newsted thing. I mean, people fucking hated him. Shit, his own band wouldn't even turn his fucking amp up. I mean, shit, it's tough sometimes. We said this before, everybody. It's like a marriage. And when one person comes in to fill another person's slot, they're most likely going to hate one another. They're not going to be like, oh, hey, I had a good time. You're going to enjoy this. They're not going to roll out the red fucking carpet for you. But let's don't forget the great Chuck Biscuits, man.
Right.
He was playing drums for him. One of the best, most energetic, powerful. I mean, the man played and bled at the same time. That's why you always saw Chuck Biscuits back in the day. He had fucking Band-Aids and white tape, all that shit, because he was the power behind that fucking band. laying it down. But I mean, just like I said, if you're really into like that, political, fucking strike out against the government type shit, fucking Black Flag all the way.
Chuck Biscuits also went on to Social Distortion.
He did. Which was perfect for him. He came, got let go from Danzig, and he was a perfect fit. He was doing blues, and a lot of that rockabilly stuff has a lot of swing, kind of like shuffle patterns and stuff like that. I thought it was a perfect fit. I was like, God damn, I'm just glad he's fucking playing after he faked his own death.
And we got Circle Jerks because of Black Flag, because of a fucking lineup change singer.
Yep. Everything kind of came full circle, I think. Right? I didn't even think about that. Motherfucker. Look at me.
Pull out your pecker, fellow killer cocks.
It's just, who was the big pecker at the time?
And if you ain't got a pecker, open up the hen house. Let's have some fucking fun. Circle Jerks on the fucking tour.
Oh, and they were fucking hilarious.
Fuck yeah. Killing for Jesus. One of the best fuck yous I've ever heard in my life.
Jesse says, Bad Religion was one of the first intellectual bands. I love Dead Kennedys, Social D for bringing a new age to the scene. Bad Religion is so awesome to skate to. Fuck yeah. They were very synonymous.
Right. They're on my skate punk list.
Oh, Crystal joined. Hi. How you doing? She goes, hey, I'm baking a cake. Wanted to stop in to tell you I had a dream and you were in it. Uh-oh. She says, you were asking the group of people to join hands and pray. I was like, what the fuck? We all did it, though. You'll never see me do that, except for my upcoming role, which I took as a fucking joke, by the way, the Red Huntress series. I was always a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and what was that? Supernatural and shows like that. So I jumped at the chance, but I'm playing a priest. Satanist playing a priest. I love it.
Awesome.
Gotta love it. Joey
I played a redneck in the Amityville Pool Toy Massacre.
Jesse says Henry Rollins was a juggernaut. Oh, man, still is that guy. I just saw a video of him rocking out with Cyndi Lauper doing a duet. Awesome. That shit was bad fucking ass. A lot of people don't know Cyndi Lauper was a punker herself.
Yeah. She was a fucking legend. She's still incredible.
Absolutely. Jody says Chuck sitting up on a bar stool to play his kit. Power. That's right. What you don't realize, most of y'all out there, is that was the old way drummers would sit behind their drum kits, because they didn't have the swivel seats that we have today known as the throne. It looked like one of those old cigarette dispenser things. Like you put them out when you're done smoking, you put them out in it, those big tall cans. Some of them had like a trash thing in the inside and the sand on top. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But that's basically what they were. They were just solid fucking steel. And he always sat up higher than anybody I had ever seen. I'm like, how the fuck does he do this? My goodness. Aaron says, building a production company right now and couldn't miss hanging out with my brothers. I feel you totally, Crystal. I appreciate you. All right. Who do you got next, brother?
Well, it's one of the fucking holy trilogy of the punk scene, so you can't have a fucking episode about punk without the Ramones.
I knew it. Dun, dun, dun.
Which we briefly touched on earlier. But
briefly, yes. But there is definitely a rich history with these New York guys. I mean, looking at them, you really thought you would get something different, but what did we actually get from them?
It was fucking everywhere, dude. If you listen to their fucking discography, Go get their anthology shit. You can see there is a progression when you get later to like Poison Heart and like Adios Amigos era.
Yep.
They're coming into their own finally, and it was like a bunch of different lineups through the years. It wasn't everybody with the fake fucking Beatles haircuts and shit. Because Joey never had that fucking shit, but there was fun songs. There were sad songs. You know, there was the Christmas songs. You got the iconic video, so iconic that Blink-182 just tributed it with one of their new fucking videos. It's all about, Okay. Again, I'm going to sound like a fucking poser. Well, fuck you, because punk is like what you like. The couple Blink-182 songs they just released are incredible. They came into their fucking own.
It's definitely better than the poppy stuff, but then again, you could say the same thing about the Ramones. Like, that's what probably people said back in the day. They're like, these guys are not as hard as, you know, Black Flag or the Misfits and Circle Jerks and all those guys, because they were just fucking angry. Then there's fucking happy little freakishly tall Joey Ramone laying it down, and like the crowds could like dance to. And I almost wonder if slam dancing kind of got started from that.
And then look at this. Look at his solo album before he died, the Joey Ramone album, where he did a cover of "It's."
I never got to hear it. I'm gonna have to get it.
And Dr. Chud drums on that album as well, and a bunch of other people fucking guest starred. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I definitely have to get that.
It's a good album, man. It is a good fucking album. I had it twice because my first one broke. So like my CD broke in half.
No. Wore it out.
But it is incredible. But everything they did was great. I mean, it's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Same with the styles. Like I said, we talk about these up and coming bands or the old eras. Just because it ain't for you doesn't mean it's not for your kid or that generation, because times have changed and it's all coming full circle. I'm not going to be very surprised if in another year or so we see another surgence of political punk bands.
I won't be surprised. Punk bands.
Because everything's a circle.
Yeah. And in case some of y'all didn't know this, Suicidal Tendencies was originally a fucking punk band.
Yeah.
They still very much have that background too.
Fuck, Anthrax is half punk, half fucking metal, man.
It's very true. And it was really the skate guys that really dug Anthrax the most. Like, you would see Anthrax stickers all over boards. I've seen them wear t-shirts and shit like that. I just, you know, so many people, I think it was the mainstreamers that kind of ruined it. They try to say, oh, they're thrash. Well, where did they get that from? They were showing up in Thrasher magazine. So honestly, I would give them more credit for that than I would metal.
Right. Fuck, man. You remember their song about Tipper Gore?
Right.
You fucking whore. That's all you are. Yada, yada. Dude, that shit was the best.
Oh, for sure.
Now, you might get offended like a word like piss or shit.
Hi, Sydney. Good to see you. She says, sorry, I'm tardy to the party. Glad you could make it.
She likes to make an appearance.
That's right. Superstar. Aaron says, I've been working through creating a new kill for the Legend of Buddy Bones. Well, shit. You know, I'm already like fucking like, okay, let's go.
Part of a posse. See that? There we go. That's exactly what I was fucking talking about. I ran into Scott in my old fucking bar in Greenwich Village years ago, and nobody around knew who the fuck he was. But because, again, I used to play for other bands, I don't act fanboy around these motherfuckers. I said, oh, hey, how you doing? I said, hi. We had a quick drink. He went on his way. I went on my way. I didn't draw attention to him for what he was there. Dude, just hanging out, meeting a fucking friend. So,
honestly,
I wasn't autographing. I wasn't like,
no,
just hi, how are you? The guy was nice enough to say hi. Leave him fuck alone after that.
I mean, that's how I am anytime I'm around like a bigger horror actor that's done like a bajillion movies and they're super well known. It's like, hey, how the fuck you doing, man? I'm not sitting there going, oh, can you sign this, please? If you treat them like that, they're going to treat you just like you're one of the guys or one of the gals,
Probably the funniest conversation I ever had when I was playing a lot of shows and shit was when I had opened for the Exploited, and I'm with Waddy after the fact. And we're drinking after the bar's closed, right? And we sat there for a half an hour talking, and I didn't know one fucking word he said because his drunken Scottish accent was so thick. I'm just nodding like, or oh, yeah, watching his facial expressions.
It's like, thanks for the hieroglyphic
reaction to But because it was him, they weren't kicking me out either. So I was just fucking drinking longer.
Well, sure.
I had a beer with fear when I lived in Texas.
Nice.
Because Lee Veen used to walk all over Austin.
Hell yeah. Nice. Let's see. What number are we on? Are we up to
I think you're on your last because that was my last.
That was okay. Yeah. If that was your last, then I probably already given mine, didn't I? Or did you start first?
Black Flag.
I can't remember.
I started with Social D, I think.
You did, yes. Let me see here.
I count the 10.
For sure.
One punk band.
For sure. No, actually, I think that about covers it. I think we did get there because we've mentioned, guys, we've mentioned so many bands that we didn't even really focus on. So I feel like we've given the Morgrot, yep, for sure, the Morgrot universe a really good look, just into like a brief history, which is what we were hoping to do. Just kind of like talking about how a lot of these bands evolved, where they started, how they commingled, became a family. So I think that's a great place to start. But now, with our next show coming up, we're going to like go through some of the little subdivisions or subgenres within punk. And let's not forget, punk also led to the hardcore movement. So we'll be able to talk about a lot about that too, and a lot of the really good, truly hardcore bands, because hardcore bands were hardcore bands. They weren't metal, but they got lumped into metal. But what they were was punk slowed down. Yes, absolutely. Stormtroopers of Death, DRI.
Yeah, I played with them
those
too.
guys. Shit, I mean, there was another one we didn't even mention. Fucking
Asylum was pretty much like that. I don't talk about them a lot, but Asylum was pretty much an amalgam of all the little punks, but it was a lot more aggressive. Yeah. So we got DRI shows and shit like that.
Nothing wrong with that.
We almost opened for David Allan Coe once.
Oh, damn. That would have been bad fucking ass. Green Jello was a punk band. They are very much punk at the roots before they did, Little Pig, Little Pig.
Let's act our age and definitely call them Green Jello, not Green Jelly.
That's
did.
Right.
So.
That's just what everybody calls them today.
Legal reasons, obviously, which is weird,
For sure. Oh, thank you so much. Jody says, great episode and picks, guys. Maybe horror punk focused episode next month for the season. Oh, you already fucking know.
That works for me if that's our next fucking show. I mean.
Oh, it could. Well, I mean, there's so many different subgenres. We could do more.
Right.
I'd like to make this a regular thing. I think it would be a blast.
Does Johnny Necro fall on one of these lists?
I mean, yeah. How could you not? Jesse says, I'm not a fan, but does anyone else remember the Meat Men? Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, we do.
They fall into the
they would be my choice for worst of that era. That was probably almost the whole point. I mean, if we're talking about the worst, throw G.G. Allen in there.
Murder Junkie.
Can't forget those guys.
That's the weirdest way to have a legacy, though. I mean, and I'm going to be honest. I'm not being rude.
Most hated man ever.
When we opened for fucking Murder Junkies, they had their car breakdown. Their shit wasn't there, so they used our gig. Well, a lot of people don't realize Dino Sex plays fucking drums naked. Big fucking dude too. And so when we were letting them use our shit, we didn't tell our drummer because we went through a lot of drummers. It was whoever we could get to say yes, because of infighting, we went through them all the time. We kept going back to this one Christian dude just because he would come back in a pinch. But this other kid was all preppy, right? And he watches Dino get up there and he takes his clothes off and sits down. He goes, "That dude's chode's rubbing my shit."
Oh,
I still have his drumstick he signed for me. He didn't put up his ass, thankfully, but he signed it.
I would have been like, dude, at least put a fucking towel over the seat.
Nope, he was just sweating his little ball sweat all over the fucking place.
More like fucking teabagging that damn thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I gave him shit, but I was like, what? We already played? Just wipe it off when he's done. They're headlining. It's not like you had to sit in it.
Yup. Yeah, Jesse, definitely. I feel that too. Some of the punk bands went a little too far in certain cases. So, and that was the kind of the crazy thing about that time. And that's why we're focusing on the groundbreakers.
About Screwdriver unless it's fuck them.
Right. Exactly right. Most deaf. Jesse says Crystal has a pet rat named Gigi, the Destroyer attorney at law. I love it. Oh my goodness. Sydney says, well, it was a drumstick, not life versa.
And for those that don't know,
hopefully I said that
buy
right.
her book, Everything I Learned in Go-Go.
I mean,
because it's a reference.
Right. See, there you go. Free promotion. You didn't even have to buy it. All righty, guys. You guys have been a fucking blast. I mean, at 2:00 on a Tuesday. Damn. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling verklempt over here. So definitely thank you guys for joining us today. This has been a fucking blast because it's kind of cool to give another side of ourselves. Yes, we love almighty metal and there's 50 fucking years of it. But at the same token, there's a lot of other great genres that kind of dance around that stuff, or let's be real, influenced a lot of metal also at the same time. So this is going to be fun. And we'll definitely let you know when we're going to do this next. So stay peeled to Johnny Necro page, Horridorables page, Reapers Underground page, Morgrod Entertainment. You know all the things. It's not hard to find out because we put the word out. Much like we did back in the day, nailing posters to trees and putting them under
handmade fucking screen print t-shirts,
yeah,
and fucking handmade copy fucking
all the
posters. Staple that shit up.
Fuck yeah. So don't forget, guys, the return of the almighty Hoof Beast is tonight, as we're going to be discussing the top 10 black metal albums of the 90s because they were super important. And bands that we all love, especially if you're a black metal lover. So we will definitely see you tonight at 8 p.m. And most importantly, guys, at the end of the day, if you're still on the job, go up behind the boss and do this. Maybe give him a wet willy or something. Right. And most importantly, stay heavy.